I think SEO is growing to be a great service for us. I see a lot of traction there. Even marketing technologies, people have started talking about CRMs.
Welcome to this series, Heroes of Sokrati. My name is Manoj, and I am in conversation with one of our pillar and leader, Piyush Arora. So, Piyush, welcome to this conversation, Heroes of Sokrati, and please, would like to hear a little about yourself.
So, first of all, Manoj, thanks for a very generous introduction. My name is Piyush. I've been working with Sokrati for about 5 years. And in fact, I feel I'm one of the few lucky people who's got the opportunity to explore Sokrati in from the time before we got acquired and in multiple functions, right? I've been a part of the operations team. That's where I began my career. And about year and a half, then I moved to a different sort of a role, and that's when we got acquired. And post that, I tried building our partnership with these tech players like Adobe and Salesforce. So got a little bit of exposure there. Worked a bit in consulting. And then I moved into a proper sales function, which I'm currently doing. And I try and manage our sales efforts in North India. Obviously, there are a bunch of people who do help me do that and enable me to do that. But it's been a fun ride till now, and I've enjoyed it thoroughly. A lot of movements, ups and downs, both of them, but it's been great.
Sales is a very key function. It's like what I say is like a key function which keeps the engine moving. So I'm sure I'll pick a little bit of your brains as we move ahead, how it has been helping us in the last 1 year. So coming to that part, this last 1 year has been a pretty much of an turbulence, I would say. Something in all our contingency, we didn't envisage such a kind of a scenario, which will put us working from home for almost an entire year. What is your take on it?
So, personally, luckily for me, I was doing a little bit of work from home even before the COVID situation started, because somewhere in 2018, I think I moved back to Delhi. So, about even before a year and a half before that, I was literally away from my team, trying to coordinate with most of the folks over the phone. Obviously, there was travel involved at that time, but when the travel how we tried and did a restructuring for ourselves within our teams was obviously there were more cadence calls that we did with each other. Sales as a function, what happens is when you are presenting to someone in person physically, there is a lot more that you can learn about that person, their needs. And so a lot of trainings, a lot of trying to figure out where we are. And I think one thing that for me personally changed was I tried and built a connect with my customer, not just over a presentation. Now my conversation would, I will try and find a winner within that org that I'm trying to pitch to, and trying to build a connection. What was the feedback? Was everyone getting what I was saying? What does your CMO think? And so on.
Absolutely. Piyush, from your perspective, what is that you feel? It's something this new folks who are coming on board, and those who have already come on board in the last pandemic, they hardly got to actually come to office. So they are definitely missing the Sokrati DNA or the culture to get rub off in person. What is that your message would be for these folks?
So my only message is, so to be, very open. If you are feeling something, if you have a problem, be it personal or professional, just remember that people up there are there to listen to you and enable you. Just, drop a Teams chat, email, call anyone. A lot of us have our phone numbers attached. Just feel free to call anyone. And that's something that I felt from the very beginning. You can probably go up higher up or anywhere within the org that you think that let's say this person will be able to help you. And obviously do a lot of interactions with your team members. They will be able to tell you a lot more about people and the kind of people that will help you, navigate within the org for your different problems. And yeah, just talk as much as you can.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think Piyush, that's very right. I think it's a very consistent, I would say, response or update across. I'm talking to various heroes of Sokrati. That is, everybody is accessible. Everybody is reachable, irrespective of the level, designation, and the schedule. Try to reach out to the folks, and they are reachable and accessible part of it. Great. Now that we have the context and the environment, this pandemic opened the whole digital ecosystem in a very different way. And things year back, things today, and things 1 year from now can be classified into three zones, or I would say three situations which are there. So, what is your take on this impact on Sokrati as an organization, and how do you think should we cope or leverage or prepare for this burst in the digital ecosystem?
Earlier, when we started getting into this, most of the queries still remained. People recognized us as one of the key folks in performance. But as we go by, people are looking for more strategic insights from us. They want to understand how the business will operate, how should they even invest in performance or not, and they are looking at services beyond performance. Like, I think SEO is growing to be a great service for us. um, I see a lot of traction there. Even marketing technologies, people have started talking about CRMs now. People are, I see them investing, doing this for the long haul. It's not just to build the brand, and they know that e-commerce is here to stay, and they're ready to invest in building their backbone and different service lines within the digital ecosystem. A lot of small businesses also, driving a lot of traction on different digital services, which at least a year back we used to work with only the biggest of biggest brands, because those were the guys who wanted to spend. But today you could see traditional brands which were not very big on digital. They also wanting to build capabilities on digital and around different capabilities. So I see that that is how the business is evolving from business perspective. And people don't just look at us as a performance marketing agency anymore. They look at us as a full service consulting, and they understand that, what we can bring to the table. And I see a lot of appreciation from clients, because they understand that, there lies different kind of expertise to do what we do.
Great. I think, Piyush, that was a very nice summary. Also, the paradigm shift that has happened from being recognized as a performance agency to a whole holistic, or I would say wholesome center of excellence, which is offering various kind of expertise and services. I think that was a very nice perspective. So, Piyush, would you like to share, now that we have had such a transformation, okay, and we had this now digital ecosystem also catering in a very structured way. Okay, what do you think it has been that success mantra of Sokrati, which has brought us to this or this level? What do you think is that? Why could we cope with this turbulence at the same time rise up the curve?
So the first being that we started investing in our processes. That, I think, has been a supporting pillar for us. While processes was one pillar, we always remained a very people-centric organization, where people actually used to drive those processes. Uh, so while the processes were there, but we knew that, how those processes worked. It was communicated very early, and it were not imposed in one go. So most of us were always aware of those processes, and were able to, uh, just adjust to it very quickly, because we knew that what processes were managed by what people. There were people who were building those processes. We had done a couple of iterations to reach the point where we are today. We've minimized the number of errors. We've done a lot of calculations and iterations on what works the best. So I think one would be the processes that has helped us, and then also we've invested, I think, in different service lines. What we've built today, we've been able to build because of the people. You'll see that there are multiple pillars which have enabled to be Sokrati where it is. And fortunately for us, our leaders are, I think, the most amazing folks out there. See, they truly invest in training people till date. You know, so Anubhav must have worked with what till date about 2,000, 3,000 people, but he still doesn't stop investing in people.
The pillars are not just 1, 2, or 3, 4, but there is a plethora of the people. I think our biggest strength, you very nicely have summarized, is process and people, which takes us to the perfection. So 3P is what I will articulate about the success mantra, or what we have been able to go through the turbulence. So great. I think, Piyush, that was very interesting. You have helped us understand, and of course, all those who are on board, I'm sure, are going to relish this bites that are, but at the same time, those who are still making the decision whether which is the right place to start for a digital ecosystem, for an e-com or a performance kind of thing. Yes, why we are the numero uno, and why we thrive on it, is because of the things that you articulated. So great. I think thanks, Piyush, for those very powerful bites. It was very indeed interesting conversation with you. Appreciate those inputs, and thank you for being with us on this Heroes of Sokrati.